fitness on shupirates.com, brought to you by Adidas. As always, I'm strength and conditioning coach Angelo Gingerelli, and on this episode we're going to talk about race day preparation. Now hopefully you saw our other episodes on how to train for your first road race event, and on this episode we're going to talk about how to prepare yourself for the run that day. What you're looking for on race day is exactly what you're not looking for in a good movie. You want no surprises and for everything to be 100% predictable. So what that means is you want to have your long weekend runs mirror your race day as much as you can. So if your race is on 10 a.m. on a Sunday, you want your weekends with your long runs to mirror that race weekend as much as possible. So that's how much sleep you get on Saturday night, what your nutrition intake is Saturday night and Sunday morning, your hydration level, so how much water you drink before, the night before and day of that long run, what you're wearing. So if you know you're going to wear this pair of Adidas sneakers on race day and this Climate Cool t-shirt, let's wear that every long run so there's no surprises on race day and there's no irritation or something wrong with your gear that's going to cause you to have an unpleasant experience on race day. So what you want is no surprises at all. You want to structure your long runs so they're like race day and you're going to plan ahead as much as possible. One thing I always like to do, if it's a local race and I can go the night before and pick up my number, like I did last night for the Seaside Heights Half-Marathon that I'm about to run today, that really takes a level of stress away because normally the races are open early and you can pick your stuff up with plenty of time. But if you hit traffic, there's a parking problem, there's a long line, you might end up having some undue stress before you even get to the starting line. Another thing you want to do, make sure you leave early and give yourself plenty of time. Give yourself time to deal with traffic, parking, lines, whatever there might be, and give yourself plenty of time. Because my personal philosophy on that is running a race or doing any kind of athletic event is hard enough by itself. You don't need added undue stress and pressure from being late to that event. One thing that stumps a lot of first-time runners is what to bring to your first race. So what we're going to talk about right now is how to pack your race day bag and what you need with you on race day. So the first thing we're going to talk about, we've already addressed it a little bit, is your race number. If you can pick it up the night before, absolutely do that. If not, pick it up the day of and you'll be fine. The other thing you want to do is bring some safety pins with you. Most races will have more than enough safety pins for everybody, but in case they don't, have them with you. Throw a couple in your car the night before and be ready to secure your number in a way that's comfortable and not going to get in your way during the run. Another thing you want to bring is weather-appropriate gear, no matter what the weather might be. In New Jersey, the majority of our road races are held in the spring and in the fall. Not many are held in the middle of the summer. Now in New Jersey, spring and fall, you can get the most beautiful race conditions ever, 65 sunny, totally blue skies, or you can get hurricanes, gale force winds, and torrential downpours. So you want to prepare for all of that. And make sure you have it with you because the weather can change on a dime. Obviously, I think it goes without saying, the week before the race, keep an eye on websites that report the weather and know what you might be looking at. Another thing you want to bring with you is some cash and an ID. Now that's important because number one, the cash, there might be an emergency you need on the way to or from the race. And with the ID, if you're running a charity run where it's really more about the charity and the cause and raising money, it might not be that important. But if you're doing any kind of competitive race, you're going to want to check a photo ID and make sure you are who you say you are. So you can't have your 18-year-old track star cousin run in your place and you go get a first place medal and you're just hanging out at the finish line having a soda and then you go up to the podium and collect a reward of some kind. Another thing you want to bring is any kind of medications you might have been taking, allergy medications, particularly in the spring and fall in New Jersey, hay fever, and then pollen is really at an all-time high. So if you have allergy medication, you want to bring that with you and not have your allergies be any kind of factor during the run. I always like to bring some extra contact lenses. We all know how annoying a bad contact can be, or if it's windy and it flies out or something like that. Be ready and be able to see the finish line while you're running towards it. And then you want to bring some kind of moisturizers, whether it's skin, chapstick, whatever it might be. If that's what you use during your runs, have it with you, bring it with you, and be as comfortable as you can during your run. Another thing you want to bring, which I think people leave out way too much of the time, is clothes for after the race. And we're packing our race bag. Everybody thinks about, what do I need to get ready for this run? What do I need pre-race? Well, after the run, if you worked hard, you're going to be drenched in sweat, and you're going to have to get home. And if you don't want to sit in a car soaking wet in your own sweat, if you rode with a couple people to the race, it can actually be pretty fun. Nobody wants to be in those kind of nasty conditions. So bring some dry clothes. There'll probably be a changing area available. And if you have any kind of distance to travel on the way home, dry off. Don't get sick from being wet and cold, and don't gross everybody out with your own stink. The other thing we're going to bring to the race, obviously, is what we're going to eat before the race. So I always say bring a couple of water bottles and then bring whatever kind of bars, snacks, bagels, whatever it might be that you like to eat before your race and immediately after your race. Now most races are sponsored by food companies and will have some stuff available, and some of them have great spreads, but they might run out, there might be a line, and it might not be the stuff you like to eat. So I always say think ahead and bring what you want to eat before and after your race so you're ready to go. And even if you're down the shore where my race is for the Seaside Heights Half-Marathon and you know there's a Wawa every other traffic light, well that's great, everything's available. What if the Wawa's closed? What if the line's too long? What if you're running late because you hit traffic? So think ahead, pack your bag the night before, and be ready to go on race day. Okay, so it's the morning of the race, October 16th, 2011, the Seaside Heights Half-Marathon. I cannot be more excited. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 8 or 9 million. I've been training for 10 weeks. My long runs have gone well. My speed work's going great. I feel like I'm going to do really well, and I'll see you guys in about an hour. Okay, maybe an hour and a half. Probably closer to 2 hours, but I'll see you at the finish line. Let's go.
Ready? Go! Thank you guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Go!
Those pictures go online.
And runner number 296, come on, Cleveland, let's finish the Seaside Half.
How do you feel?
Really good.
Are you happy with your time?
Yeah, I'm a minute faster than I wanted.
Did any chubby people beat you?
No,
Did any old people beat you?
I don't think so.
How about people with bad sneakers?
What's that?
How about people with bad sneakers? Okay.
All right, so as you saw, I just finished Seaside Heights Half-Marathon. It's a great course if you're new to running races because it's right along the beach. It's real flat, beautiful scenery. The wind was a little rough today, but we're not going to make excuses. I got just an hour and 34 minutes, which is about a minute faster than my goal, which is 1:35. So you know, it was an aggressive goal. I'm happy I got that. It's about 4 minutes faster than my half marathon I did last October. So things are definitely moving on in the right direction. That's going to wrap up my competitive season for the year. With weights the rest of 2011, try to get big and strong, and then start running again at the top of 2012. And what's not going to wrap up is realistic fitness. We'll be back every week at SHPirates.com, brought to you by Adidas. And to wrap up this episode, it's number 296 in the race program, and number 1 in your heart, Angelo Gingerelli for Realistic Fitness, SHPirates.com.